Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at the feature race at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. We'll kick off the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 with the 6.5 furlong Juvenile Fillies Sprint. These are 2-year-old Florida breds. Let's take a look at this field. Mike, we've got 6 in here. We've got some pretty impressive running lines on display. Horses like the 3, Bella Cleopatra, Open Lengths debut winner. The 5, La Gioconda, an Open Lengths debut winner. I'm just not sure what those 2 horses beat.
Yeah, that's one of the major themes of the race here, Dan. Horses that certainly looked good winning, didn't necessarily earn, standout figures for those wins despite big margins. And now they're going to step up and face some more experienced horses here. You also have a horse, in some ways, races like this, you want to look for the new face, and you have horses shipping in from out of town and maybe landing in a really good spot in the 3 and the 4.
Well, let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this 6.5 furlong event. Wiggle and Wine, the number 2, wasn't able to make the lead last time out, but she sure has shown speed in the past. Bella Cleopatra was a pace-pressing debut winner at Colonial. La Gioconda showed speed. These horses are still trying to find their way, not only in terms of class, but in terms of running style. There's one thing I do know. Volatile is going to be sitting near the back, the number 1. She has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating, and if this pace gets hot, you'll know her late.
Yeah, we'll see if she can get out of the gate this time, because in her maiden win last time, she did not break very well, and then had a little bit of a difficult trip there that she had to overcome, but she did it. So we'll see what kind of trip she can pull. It's interesting, though. You're right, because this is the kind of race where they're also lightly raced. I'm not going to, sit here and say there's no pace in this race, but it's not like many of these horses are showing big speed on the way into this.
And Volatile is one that hasn't. It hasn't been bet in either one of the 2 starts. Let's watch the second out victory for Volatile, going 3/4 of a mile. She was dismissed at 18-1. There was a big, strong pace in front of her. I liked what she did. After the bad start, she was down inside. She was over and behind horses. She was crying out for a seam. And once she got that seam, she runs over the top of this 4-5 shot.
Easy winner. Again, poor start to this race, getting away last. Her rider decided not to take her out into the clear around the turn when he had the chance to, and it almost blew up in his face there. He got caught over behind horses, but he got clear with time. And this filly did the rest. I liked that performance. When you go back to her debut too, Dan, I mean, she didn't show big speed in there, but she was up close to the pace on the outside, did a little bit of chasing around the turn and got tired. Just looked like she really needed that one. Improved last time. This is a very underrated trainer. I think this is a dangerous horse in here.
And she's bred to be a useful horse. Her dam was a grade 3 placed runner going long, so I think 6.5 is going to hit Volatile right between the eyes if she breaks and gets the pace that is expected. Wiggle and Wine was a debut winner going 5/8 of a mile, earned a couple of stakes placings. Last time out, they threw some serious speed at her, and she couldn't keep up with them early before tiring. I needed to see a little bit more, though, Mike, and maybe I'm just being very hard on a lightly raced 2-year-old filly that's allowed an off day, but I just wanted to see a little bit more try.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, I agree with that mostly because then she just didn't run well last time, and you don't have to hold it against her. But I was mostly disappointed because the prior 2 stakes tries, and listen, she was no match in either one of those races, but I was trying to stay positive on her because she was so game in the stretch of those races. I mean, both times it did not look like she was going to hit the board in the stretch, but she was really game to hold on to second both times. So I thought maybe there was something there. She was terrible last time. We'll see if she can rebound.
The sire Vacoma has made his mark with his first crop, and yet another debut winner was the 3, Bella Cleopatra, who scored over a wet track at Colonial Downs, pushing the pace and then drawing clear in the stretch. It appears she was privately purchased after that race. She's now with George Weaver, and it seems like she's found a really good spot for her first start for the new connections.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with this placement for her. I mean, she does have something to prove here. After debuting over a wet track at Colonial, she got a really good trip in that race, just sort of sitting up close. And when she took over on the turn, it looked like maybe she was going to have to race for it then. And then suddenly she had 5 on that field, and the race was all but over. It didn't come back that fast, but she did some good things there.
Have a lot of respect for trainer Brian Lynch, and he sends out the 4 Mrs. Worldwide, a filly who got a very respectable figure on the 4th of July. 60 for a 2-year-old filly, and only the second lifetime start is okay. Things didn't go right in her subsequent start. They brought her back on the synth. That doesn't have to be her best surface. I thought she ran okay and finished ahead of a horse that placed in a first-level allowance. I think she has good tactical speed, Mike. She might work out that sort of second flight trip behind the speeds, get the jump on the true closers like Volatile.
That's how I viewed it too, Dan. It just feels like she's in a way better spot here. I mean, I get that, when the last time they ran her on dirt, she was eased and, obviously very disappointed after taking some money, but that field was light years better than this one. I don't care about the synthetic race last time. Her first two starts were both really good. She had that adaptable running style where she was up close, but did not need the lead, stayed wide all the way around the track, and that maiden win 3 starts back and won very easily.
La Gioconda was a debut winner and did so very impressively, going this 6.5 furlong distance. Never easy for 2-year-olds to debut at distances longer than 3/4 of a mile, and La Gioconda had to do it over a sloppy track. Now, while she wins by 7 and the fig is competitive, it must be noted that this race was full of first-time starters. They all were debut runners, so we don't know what she beat other than she was supposed to win at even money.
Yeah, it's a very good point, though. You'd have no idea what was behind her. If nothing else, you did see a horse take money like they knew she could run, and then she buried that field. And when you go back and watch the full replay, too, it's not like she was a bullet from the gate. She broke from the rail. She basically got away last in there and then just sort of sent up the inside with pretty good speed, took on a challenge around the turn, hammered that horse, and got away pretty impressively.
She was favored for her debut. The 6 Valiant Kiss was dismissed at 26-1 and scored, and since then just hasn't really done too much. They tried her twice on dirt against stakes competition. They tried her twice on the synthetic going long. She was wired by the favorite in a slow-paced synthetic race last time out, so maybe she'll get a better race flow here. I just haven't seen that improvement from start to start that makes me think she's ready for another big forward move.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to like her off of what she's done on the track so far, Dan. Maybe, just you go with the intangibles here where she gets to cut back in this race off of 3 straight route races. Maybe these lightly raced horses in front of her sort of hook it up and set this race up for somebody else and she can come running late.
And she'll be facing Florida-bred competition for the first time. She's faced open foes in all lifetime starts. Top pick time, race 6 at Gulfstream on Saturday. Mike, we're both going with horses trying Florida-breds for the first time. Your horse, the number 4, Mrs. Worldwide, has experience, and I really think that could come into play in this race.
I like that about her. I like that she's shipping into this spot, which looks like a pretty good one for her. I think she fits really well in this field. I just thought she was like super logical in here, Dan. I'm just going to take her on top. I think this is a great spot for her. The other horse for me is the 1 Volatile. We talked about, that win last time where she probably ran even better than it looks on paper.
Curious to see what we get from Bella Cleopatra. She won that race very easily. Sometimes, though, these debut horses are really cranked up, and it's tough to get them back to that level for the second lifetime start. At least Weaver has given her some time since that race to sort of acclimate to the program. Maybe it will help Bella Cleopatra. She's well spotted. 3-5-1-4 for me, 4-1-2-3 for Mike. It's race 6 at Gulfstream, the Juvenile Fillies Sprint for Florida breds. Good luck. Hey, buddy, you look like you're in need of a winner. And just remember, if you like and subscribe right over here, you can get all of the great content on DRF.com, including Race of the Day, stakes previews, and lots more, featuring me and my superb selections. Trust me, you're not going to regret it.